Hey guys, thank you for tuning in again. My name is Mutusi. I'm the chairman of Smokeless Lifestyle, which is a non-profit organization which encourages people to take on a cigarette-free lifestyle. Um, Again, thank you for watching my previous video. I hope it was informative and you guys took some encouragement from that. As a lot of us, or let me put it this way, a lot of teenagers when they pick up the habit, it could be for different reasons. It could be um, peer pressure, it could be experimenting, or they saw somebody uh, do it and they thought it was cool and they're like, let's try it. And in my case, it was one of those where I lived very near to a university. It was basically a small village right next door to a university. So during exam times in high school, a lot of us would actually visit the library a lot, and then we'd stay there till quite late, around 10:30 to 11 o'clock in the evening, and then make our way back home. So occasionally one would find himself actually walking home by himself with nobody to accompany them, which was like a good 40, 45 minutes to an hour's walk, depending on how fast one actually walks. And it was still a very, like I said, it was still a very small village then. Still no street lights. I mean, till today there are no street lights, but the number of houses have increased. That actually would shed out light now, but back then it would still be like a very pitch black night, and um, you would hear like dogs barking in the distance. You would hear voices in the distance, but you wouldn't actually see people until they're like nearby. And to me, cigarette smoking resonated with being an adult. To me, I had only experienced adult smoking, and the thought actually came from that people would think I'm an adult when approaching, and people wouldn't give me trouble because previously, like most times, if one was walking alone, there'll be moments where they actually run into troublemakers and they would have to change the route that they're taking home, which is a bit more longer, possibly even more scarier. And so when I took up the habit and I started smoking on my walks back home, I found that less and less people were troubling me. Perhaps this was just in my head, but it actually worked. People were not giving me much of a hassle. In fact, they would actually approach me and ask for a cigarette, and would have a small chat, and everybody takes that different route. And so this evolved into now becoming a regular smoker because now I had cultivated the receptors to actually want more intake of cigarettes, and it then became like a social thing. I go out and uh, I want to smoke with my friends. And funny enough, I actually took up cigarette smoking before I started drinking. At some point in university, I actually decided I had actually had enough of smoking cigarettes, and then I quit for some time. Unfortunately, I then got involved in a car accident where a friend of mine that was driving at the time was actually turned to reach out for a cigarette from one of the mates that was sitting at the back with us, and he lost control of the car, which then landed me in hospital for about a good month to a month and a half. And there would be moments where I'd be bored, in between visits, so I would go outside and buy a cigarette and then smoke. That then continued until 2013 when my son was born, which was like a good 17 years later. And to this day, I still believe it was the best choice I've ever done in my life. In fact, I celebrate the day that I I quit cigarette far much more than I actually celebrate my birthday, because that's the day that I decided to be cautious about, conscious about my health, because I want to live a very healthy life, and I want my body to be at 100% and still be here to see my son graduate, get married, and all those lovely stuff that will happen later on in life. So thank you again, guys, for continuing to watch my videos. Um, uh, I would like for you guys to tune in to the next one, where I'll be talking about how cigarette smoking actually affected my relations. And in terms of relations, I talk about uh, my relation with my parents, my relation with my siblings, my relations with my wife and child. And yeah, so I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you again for watching. Ciao.